Leesburg. We are so glad that you took some time to join us today. We are continuing to explore our theme for this year of rising higher, growing deeper. And boy, oh boy, have I been growing deeper. I hope you have too for this year. Our theme for the month of August is On the Wings of Love. And I love the title of our talk today. The course of true love never did run smooth, as Shakespeare said. And our title of our talk today is The Turbulence of Love, and will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. So let's see. One more thing before we start our welcoming video. If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations that you would like us to include later in our service, when we do our form of affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment, please let us know about that. Put that in the chat. And when we get to the prayer portion of our service, Reverend Charlene will be sure to include your concerns and your celebrations. All right, I've done my work. Sit back, relax, and join me as we watch our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly. And so it is. And so it is. And now it's time for the meditation portion of our service. So I'm still kind of riding a high from the wonderful, wonderful forgiveness workshop that Reverend Melinda Jacobs took us through last Sunday. If you were able to join us, you know that was time well spent. We even said, what a bargain we got. If you weren't able to join us, perhaps you'll get a little teaser, a little insight of what you missed, and you'll sign up for a workshop in the future. So this is a meditation on gratitude and forgiveness, and it ties in with our message today. So with all that being said, sit back, relax. You know how we start. Take a few deep breaths in and hold and release. This is how we put our lives, our thoughts on pause. Again, breathe in and hold and release. And I want to encourage you to continue to take those deep breaths as I lead us into our meditation on forgiveness and gratitude today. So, as we settle in to this peaceful pause of meditation, I want you to think about this statement. Life is a journey. And like all journeys, all adventures, all travels, there are high points, moments that are filled with joy and elation, gratitude. And with every journey, there's a few little hiccups, right? Our lives are filled with challenges, but also our lives are filled with moments of discovery, discovering who we are, what we're made of, what is our purpose. It's been said time and time again that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that's all wrapped up in this package that we call life. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to remember who we are. And we're not alone on this journey, thank goodness. We have teachers and guides along the way. And sometimes our guides are very easy to spot, right? They're the people who just fill us up with love, who recharge our batteries. And then there are people that are guides that are not as easy to spot, because at first they appear to us as difficult people. They create turbulence in our lives. They annoy us. They confuse us. They challenge us. But they're teachers. They're joining us on our journey to allow us to discover who we really are. They help us to discover our strength, our courage, our resilience, our compassion, and our capacity to learn and grow. They help us to look at our lives with new awareness, with new gratitude. And in return, let's take a little time to look at them, to reflect on the lessons that they've taught us without judgment. So I want you to think of a difficult person, or we're going to have a couple statements here. So maybe I think it's okay for this meditation, gather them up. Gather some of those people who have been with you on your journey, who have created some uneasy feelings, who have created stress, who have created turbulence, who have put you at disease. And we're going to think of them and hold them in forgiveness. And here's the challenge: gratitude for the lessons that they have taught us. So, here are some gratitude statements that I would like you to consider. Thank you. You fill in the name. Thank you for teaching me that our actions affect others. I'm going to say that one more time. Now that you know where this is going, think of that person who taught you, hey, our actions have a ripple effect. They affect others. Thank you. Thank you for serving as a role model, as a lesson, so I could see that. So I know that my actions affect others. Here's our next one. Thank you for teaching me the importance of empathy. And you can fill in the name. Thank you for teaching me the importance of empathy, so that I'm not dismissing others, so that I'm not passing by others who need my assistance. Thank you so much for being a role model, a teacher. Thank you for teaching me empathy. Here's another one. Thank you for motivating me to take action, to change, to set boundaries. Thank you. Thank you for helping me to grow as a person, to become the best that I can be. Thank you for helping me to make a change. Just a few more. Thank you for teaching me that I must make my inner voice louder than all those outside distractions. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me that I must make my inner voice louder. Thank you for teaching me and preparing me for future challenges. Because of what I went through on my little journey of life, you helped me. You helped me prepare for what I would face next on my journey. Thank you so much. Thank you for preparing me. And as you say these statements, notice it's said with love. It's said with gratitude, not bitterness, not a backhanded compliment. Really thanking these people who have joined us in our life's journey, who have taught us through their blessings that we are resilient, that we have divine wisdom, that we are divinely created. Thank you for all the lessons that you've taught me. I would not be who I am if it wasn't for your presence in my life. Give you some moments of forgiveness and gratitude for all the turbulence that you have experienced in your life. And now I turn it over to a wonderful session of music. Here we go.
Witness me, starfarer, as you sail oceans of time. What eon did you ride here under? What age was on the tide? Hello, fellow traveler, beyond our galaxy, in your brilliant blur of heaven, evermore let it be. Oh, great galactic vista that the night has ushered in. What a sky we're born under, to return again, shimmering and glimmering and burning in the sky. I think it's something closer if it were so goddamn high. And it's so weird to me, the things they say to keep us going on from day to day, like we're in the way. And it's so weird to me how all at once you leave, and they all act as if you're gone. I think they're wrong. I'll meet you in the firmament. There's nothing left here to lament. I'm going up that way someday. I'll meet you in the firmament. There's nothing left here to repent. Beauty, fly away, fly away. me, starfarer, as you sail oceans of time. Hey there, Leah here. That is a little bit of a song by Jesse Wells called Witness Me, Starfarer.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That was wild. She was playing with her own accompaniment and then she duplicated on screen. That's crazy. Leah, you're so talented. All right, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Tamara, that was a good practice of saying thank you to those people. I wish it could have gone longer, so we're going to have to do that in a time span. That was very, very rich. I loved it. Thank you for that. I want to start this talk about the turbulence of love with a reading. And I want you to think about this from two sides, because I know not everybody in this room or in this Zoom room or even within the sound of my voice, however you're hearing this, we're not all in relationship with a significant other, a romantic other. So I would like you to listen to this from two places. One where you're in a relationship with someone, and another where that someone is yourself that criticizes you. Are we ready? All right, this is from Thich Nhat Hanh, this is the book that we're reading, The Teachings on Love, all month long. This is pulled from page 107. Beginning anew is not easy. We have to transform our hearts and our minds in very practical ways. We may feel ashamed, but shame is not enough to change our heart. Beginning anew is not to ask for forgiveness. Beginning anew is to change your mind and heart, to transform the ignorance that brought about wrong actions of body, speech, and mind, and to help you cultivate your mind of love. Your shame and guilt will disappear, and you will begin to experience the joy of being alive. All wrongdoings arise in the mind. It is through the mind that wrongdoings can disappear. Beginning anew is an opportunity for us to recall some regret from earlier in the week and undo it. Loving speech is crucial. We want to heal the community, not harm it. We speak frankly, but we do not want to be destructive. Listening meditation is an important part of the practice. When we sit among a circle of friends who are all practicing deep listening, our speech becomes more beautiful and more constructive. We never blame or argue. Compassionate listening is crucial. We listen with the willingness to relieve the suffering of the other person, not to judge or argue with her. We listen with all our attention. Even if we hear something that is not true, we continue to listen deeply so the other person can express her pain and release the tensions within herself. Thich Nhat Hanh, Teachings on Love. So all wrongdoings arise in the mind? Absolutely right. There is no such thing as a wrong thing in and of itself. I feel we need to sort of apply our own judgment and then that thing becomes wrong. We've all heard the different stories of, oh, something happened to the Chinese farmer and everybody said, oh, that's good. And he's like, I don't know. And then something else happened. Oh, that's bad. I don't know. And this Chinese farmer had the sense of equanimity to stay in that non-judgmental place, not labeling something good or bad, right or wrong. And that turned out to be evident in how each of the scenarios that one might have labeled, each one could be seen from another point of view. And what if that's also true in relationship, where I can be so clear that you're wrong about something, and then maybe not. then thinking about how my judgment, the wrongness of something arose in me. So if I want to fix or heal or rise above or just commune in a way that's not filled with strife, perhaps the way to get there is to let something else arise in the same mind that the initial idea of wrongness arose. Let something else see in. And what he's talking about is that compassionate listening. Compassionate listening. Now, I first heard of this back when I was married. Now, I was married very briefly. If you were to sum up the amount of years I was married over both of those marriages, you still wouldn't get two. I mean, you might get two in it. You might just get two out of the two marriages. Like literally, I wasn't married long. I consider it like 5 minutes. But I learned a couple things. This one was very good. It had to do with you sitting down with your partner. And when they have a grievance, your role is to listen and not just listen. You're supposed to take notes. And I'm like, say what now? Because when you're taking notes on what their grievances are, two things happen. You'll stay in the observer instead of the accused. You'll stay in the observer mode and you're pretty much writing down kind of the high points of the grievance. The second thing happens, that person feels heard. That person feels heard because you're taking notes on what they're saying. And then you're allowed to ask clarifying questions, but you're not allowed to point out, well, no, that's not right. What happened, what actually happened, well, what I intend, not, listen, only listen and take notes. And we did this about 3 different times, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And it wasn't enough to save the marriage because some stuff just wasn't meant to be in the first place. It turns out I was married to somebody else's husband. That's what I call it. Like he literally, legally, he was married to only me, but he belonged to someone else. So it was my job to free him so he can go find her. Anyway, back to you. I found something amazing when I was taking notes. I could tell that the main problem that he had wasn't with me, but I didn't say anything. I just took notes. And then because he had space, he was able to go, it reminds me of when I was married the first time. And then this lady, she took the money and she did really inappropriate things with the money. And I was saying to myself, but I didn't, nope, just took notes. Tell me more. Over here, like, and what happened? And then what? And in my mind, I knew where he was getting all of his angst from and had nothing to do with me. Nothing. But I wasn't supposed to say anything. This dude arrived at that conclusion because that was the natural conclusion. Could it be that people, and he was very smart, he was IQ like off the charts. Could it be that people who are smart enough to put two and two together, if we give them the space and the head room to kind of work it out, that they could see it too? Could it be that what was going on was I was being so triggered and so in the moment defensive that then it just escalated and nobody was heard? And it was wild. 3 different times this person came to that, Never said sorry because he's not wrong about anything, but at least he arrived at, oh yeah, so this has been happening a while. Which brings me to another thing. We learned this last week in the forgiveness workshop. Melinda had a phrase of, well, that makes sense. And we were taught to do this in the training of being in a relationship. It was to look at the person across from you based on what they have gone through. Doesn't their pain and angst make sense? Doesn't it? You're not allowed to say, well, I mean, I see what you mean, but you shouldn't. Oh, no, 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 no. You're supposed to say something like, well, considering what you've been through, of course it makes sense that you would be mad at me for spending this money because of the woman who did that with your money. Of course that makes sense. And the way that everybody feels heard in that moment You're doing two things, and I learned this, and I'm just bringing it up now because this reminds me of compassionate listening, where you're holding back and giving that person space to be who they really are in this conversation, and then allowing that person to be fully seen, fully heard. And then if you can follow up with, well, that makes perfect sense. You give them the right to have their feelings. Half the time, the fight is the fight to be seen and heard when nobody seems to be seeing and hearing them. And so what a gift, right? And so the reason I asked you to think of this from two sides, where you're in relationship with someone else and you're also in relationship with yourself, is because sometimes the person who has the problem is that other part of us that is judgy, that person who, I don't know where they live, but let's just say in the world of what is it? What's that interfamily? You have a family inside of you and there's a lot of different pieces. Somebody, I know Erin knows what it is. Type that in the chat. I can't remember the name of like the pieces. It's the pieces theory, where there's a part of you that is kind of judgy of yourself. And so that kind of therapy allows you to see that part of you, to listen to her. And of course, it makes sense. Of course, you'd be judging whether or not I clean the dishes every night because there's a part of you that never felt good enough at home because everyone had to, that thing. You can just listen to what that part of you has to say. And then, like Tamara said, how about a thank you? Thank you for showing me. And even the worst parts about yourself, I feel like we all have parts about ourselves that we'd love to just, could we just project that onto someone else and make it their problem? Could we do that? We do that anyway with our shadow side. We project it and then judge them. Well, what if we said, thank you? You know, you kept me kind of safe. Thank you, addiction, because if I didn't have you to focus on, I might have had to actually be there when people weren't treating me right. And then I don't know what I would have done. I don't know if I would have made it through. But when I was doing this addiction, I was able to just disconnect that part of you. You don't want to give it the stage anymore, but you can see that part of you and why it was there. And you could see how it helped you get through the hard times. There's actually quite a brilliance to it if we're able to rise above the mind of I'm in it and I'm fighting and everyone's against me, which is kind of a low vibration of fear and doubt and separation and ego and comparing ourselves and jealousy and trying to get because there's not enough. That's a whole different kind of energy that doesn't really bring about what we really want. Our heart wants to be loved and to love unconditionally. It's just that fear sometimes pulls us down. So, even Albert Einstein has a quote. He says, you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created the problem. Doesn't make any sense. Also, in the 12-step program, we say, well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result to come out. So what does work is, thank you, Erin, the internal family systems is what is that thing where you look at a part of yourself. And so this is right here. If you know that there's a part of yourself that would seek to judge you and call you names and not love you because that is what we learned when we were children. That's the family of origin, the initial trauma. And we bring that along because it's familiar. That part of ourselves is just needing to be heard and loved. So if we could take that part of ourselves and know that that part of ourselves is not going to heal itself, because that's an Albert Einstein situation of the problem is being generated from that mindset. So we must shift into that higher self, that space where we are one with the divine and we are love. There's times when you know it. You know that you are yet a wave. You are just a wave in an ocean of love. You arise from that energy space of love. And yeah, here you are, but you return back to that. You're just part of this ocean of love. Sometimes you feel that, and sometimes you can't. But that's what's really going on. And if we can do those spiritual practices, the meditation, the prayer, the affirmations, to get us in alignment with that higher sense of love, then from that place, we can heal the part of us that would seek to judge us, that would tell us we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, nobody will ever love you, whatever it is the thing says. And the material comes from all places where we could get on social media. Boy, there's just a whole trove of ways in which we could beat ourselves up. Just look at social media, right? Or look at the news. There's another approach. Let's go for that channel of self-denigration. There's plenty of places out there that will serve to make that small voice louder, the one that doesn't like anything and doesn't feel good enough, and then would seek to judge us. But yet, our practices, which is where we detach ourselves from that stream of we call it race consciousness in science of mind, where we're just the human condition, the sludgy, trudgy. You look around, and if you believe that that's all there is, you're feeling kind of down. That's not the truth of who we are, but a lot of people think it is. And so if we stay there, of course, our vibration starts to go down. But remembering those practices where we can change our mindset, and then that changes our perspective, and then it changes what we're looking for. It changes what we're looking with. It changes everything. Our mindset will change everything. So then the compassionate listening, that's a key point. And so when is the last time you sat with someone and compassionately listened to them? I mean, it's easy when it's somebody you love and it's a friend and you don't have any strife. What about if it's somebody who's close to you? Maybe someone you work with who's going through something, and it's time to sit and compassionately listen. In a professional relationship, it can be tricky, but it's listening to them and hearing them. And if you have the guts, show up with a notebook. Tell me more. And if they won't, what are you writing down? Oh, it's just what you're saying. I'm not actually judging you while I'm writing. I'm writing down so I don't forget what is true for you. And then as long as they'll give it to you, take it without defense, and somehow taking notes really keeps you in the observer mode. It was a brilliant hack. Um, But that will shift and transform your relationship, even if you cannot bring yourself to say, well, it makes sense you feel that way, given what you told me. Even if you don't bring yourself to that, it could be just thank you for sharing. I just feel like I know you so much better. You don't have to give an opinion unless you're asked. Just being seen and heard is huge. See what that can do for you in your life. And then just know that the change is going to need to come from inside here. We do not live our lives from the outside in, because we've moved on from the to me consciousness. And remember, there are 4 stages of everything happens to me. And then you're like, well, I took a science of mind class and I did some affirmations. Turns out everything happens by me. I can get parking places, I can get palaces, and I can get a princess or a prince, depending, because I'm doing it. It's by me. And then the third one, it's, well, maybe it's through me it happens. Sure. Maybe I'm a channel of good and it comes through me. And so when I show up, I can help other people. And then the mystic is as me. As me, I am the emanation of the divine. There is no separation. I am that wave. I am the ocean. I am the wave. I'm both of the things. I'm just flowing. Sure, a lot of us don't live there all the time, but we could get glimpses. Now, if we're living in the to me consciousness, then the first thing to do and the only thing to do is work the practices, the spiritual practices, affirmations, prayer. You heard the 5 pillars in the opening video. We've got to take a class, pray, meditate, do affirmations, give, and then love. Those are the 5. Just keep going through them. And there are actually more. So when you take one of the classes, you'll be like, wait a second. So there's 10? There's so many ways every day to help move ourselves forward into the world of reality with a big R. This becomes our nature when we know for sure that there's something going on beyond the headlines and beyond the scrolling posts of doom scrolling. There's something going on beyond that, and we have access to it. In fact, when we go within, we declare a certain state, the highest state that we can vibrate with, and we become coherent with this high state of being. And then when we do that, we have our minds toward use me, I'm available, I'm here to serve, how can I help? Oh, the healing that comes through. It's amazing. But it does all start from within. So we have to make that commitment. If we haven't already done it, we step up and step into a commitment. So we're changing our mind and we're changing our heart, because these two, when they're in alignment, who's going to stop you though? Who? And it brings about these thought patterns and this awareness and a certain amount of power, not force. If you remember power versus force, which I don't mind talking about that next week because I love that topic. Power versus force. Can't force it, but if you come with a sense of power, you raise all the energy around you when you come with that high sense of love, forgiveness, joy, peace, anything that is high vibration, everything rises to meet you. Like we talk about the light switch doesn't even have to fight with darkness. It just is what it is. As long as you paid your electricity bill, let's be honest, the light switch is going to do nothing if they've unplugged the house. But the point is, turn on the light, out flows the darkness, because one is higher vibration than the other. There is no tussle. And so when we encounter turbulence in our life and in love this week, what I want you to do is, it's easy to feel as though something's gone, love has vanished, and all is lost. But what if what's really going on is it's time for your love to undergo an upgrade? It's time to level up. And you know what to do about that. We are starting anew when we level up. We will be changing our mindset and rising higher and listening and offering that loving, compassion, listening type of meditation. And then knowing that love that is unconditional, the love that we all remember viscerally, that it's always here. It's always here within us and within our loved ones. And this is how we have a community. Okay, so let's go within and let me check to see if there are any prayer requests. Let's see. So as I go within and just simply breathe into that center of my being, knowing that within me that there's the divine idea of the highest emanation of me. This is the true idea of my life as it is in the mind of the divine, because I am an emanation of that. I am just one face of the infinite faces of the divine. And each and every one of us are that as well. And so I speak my word that there's only one here, and we all are that one. And we are connected in wonderful, interwoven ways. We are that tapestry of the divine love, that pattern of the divine joy and forgiveness and just light. And we are that fabric. It's amazing to see that this is true. And it's a blessing to know that as we step more confidently into our highest good, we bring with us the energy that has that healing effect on those we love and those who love us, and on everyone on the planet. And because we intentionally move into this mindset, we are intentionally practicing the principles of spirit. I'm so grateful to know this truth, and that while we show up in whichever way we are led to do, that we are those hands that heal those who are sick. We are the hands that help when need arises. We show up in life and we give. How can I serve you today? We give, we give. And that is why we're here. And I'm so grateful that we're awakening to this and that we're able to give back in whatever way we can. I love us. So I'm simply resting in gratitude, knowing that all is well, knowing that all is unfolding exactly the way it should. I simply let it be, and so it is. Ashe.
We will wade through these high tides together, holding each other up, holding each other up. We will wade through these high tides together, holding each other up to the light. We will march through these hard times together, holding each other up, holding each other up. We will march through these hard times together, holding each other up to the light. High enough to see the truth, high enough to see the truth. You are part of me, you are part of me, as I am part of you. We will seek joy and find it together, holding each other up, holding each other up. We will seek joy and find it together, holding each other up to the light. Oh, we will seek peace and find it together, holding each other, we hold each other, holding each other, we hold each other. We will make peace and find it together, holding each other up to the light, 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 up to the light.
Wow, the power of music. Sometimes it leaves us speechless, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, yeah, Reverend Charlene put in the chat, what a perfect song for the message. What an amazing message, Reverend Charlene. Oh my goodness gracious. All righty, so now is the portion of our service where we express our gratitude for your donations. We're able to do what we do every Sunday morning because you're there with us. You're helping to make it happen. Your donations allow us to give back to our home organization, which provides our materials for our service and our classes. And also, we look for organizations out in our community, sometimes local, sometimes global, that are working for the same vision, helping to create a world that works for everyone. We thank you so much for your donations. Odds are, if you're a regular here at CSL Leesburg, you've already found a way to give. If not, take a look at the screen. It's easy to find a way that works for you. All right, now Join me in the blessing of the gifts. And when I say gifts, I'm not just talking about the donations, the gifts that we receive each and every day and the gifts that we give. Here we go. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. Somebody asked me this week, why are you always so happy? Why are you always so positive? I've never seen you angry. Go back to the blessing of the gifts, man. Start your day each day with that little reminder. You can't help but shine brightly. All right, what announcements do we have? We have all kinds of things in the wings, so to speak. What is coming up? So in September, I was reflecting on the last time that I co-taught this class with Charlene. It was in June, and maybe we started in May, Charlene. And the title of this class is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. I took this class way back when, many years ago. It made a great impact on my life. I taught it once before with Charlene, taught it again, and every single time that I go into the message of this class, a portion of my life changes. I become stronger. I become closer to the version of the person that I know deep down inside that I'm meant to be. So if you haven't taken that course, or right, Dan, if you need a little refresher, if you need a little reminder, right, Renee, they took the class again. Sign up for the class. It'll be starting in September. And this is a foundation class. So it doesn't matter if you've ever taken a class before. Listen to me. This is a great place to dive in and explore how changing your thinking, changing your life really makes a big impact. Also in September, for those of you who have taken a foundational course, we're going to rise higher and grow deeper. We're going to have the class that's called the mystical, I always want to say mythical, the mystical path for deepening our spiritual journey by looking at the people who walked on the journey ahead of us, the mystics. What wisdom can we gain from them? I said in our meditation, life is a journey. We're not on our path alone. We're not the only ones on the path. Others have walked before us, and what can we learn from them? And that will also be coming up in September. We're going to have our new member Sunday. That is coming up in the near future. So if you are not a member of CSL Leesburg, but you've been coming on a regular basis, you know that you get spiritually fed from this community. Please let us know if you would like to sign on and officially become a member. We would love to welcome you with open arms. Also, we're going to celebrate, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this, the 11th anniversary of CSL Leesburg. I was reflecting on who I was when I walked into CSL Leesburg that very first day and who I am now and the growth, the change, how much I love my life now. CSL has been such a part of my life. And I don't know if I can say I was there the very first year, but I'm close to it. I'm close to it. So join us in celebrating that anniversary. And also we have an opening, one or two, on our executive board, our leadership council. If you're interested in that, if you've taken a foundation class, let us know and we'd love to welcome you. A friend of mine once asked about, oh boy, leadership board. You know, I've been on that before, the bickering and the fighting and animosity. No, we love each other. We support each other. We lift each other up. We practice what we preach. And what do? We're always making decisions to help you on your life's journey. If you're interested in becoming part of the board, please let us know. All right, that's a lot of announcements on one slide, isn't it? And with that, it's time to wrap things up. Before we do our closing affirmation, please a reminder, we hang out. We do our little virtual coffee hour in something that we call Pearls. What resonated with you during the music, the meditation, or the message? What do you want to question about? What do you need to hear again? You heard a quote, you heard a book reference, and you want to hear some more about that. We hang out, we talk to each other, we catch up with each other's lives, and we call that our Pearls. So if you can stay, please stay. And if not, know that we send you off with our love and our blessings right after this closing affirmation. All right, I'm looking at the screen. I can see some folks are unmuted right now. Unmute yourself because you know what I'm going to say next. I want to hear you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Dan. All right, here we go. You ready? Put your hands over your heart. Give yourself a nice hug and remind yourself, I am love.
I am
love.
I am love and nothing else. There's no more room for anything else but love. All right, think of that person. Maybe it was somebody from our morning meditation. Maybe it's somebody who you dearly love and you need to remind them that they are loved. Let's say that phrase. You ready? You are loved.
You are
You
love.
love.
Thank you so much. And now we do our love sprinkles. It's all love. There's nothing else but love. Here we go. You ready? It's all
love.
Okay. Thank you so much. Like I said in the very beginning, thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us. If you can, hang out with us. We'd love to talk with you. And if not, know that we send you off with our love and our